Hello and welcome to the second part of this interview, Las Platicas with Jules Rivera. Yay! Now, guys, I just wanted to let you guys know there was a power outage. Apparently, a transformer caught on fire and therefore cut communication. And so now now we bring you part two of Jules Rivera. Yes. Tell us all about 200, Jules.
All about 200. Wow. So this is basically a sci-fi anti-love story. Yeah, I guess that's a way of putting it. Yeah. So let me pull up some artwork. I'd like to share some artwork with you all from the graphic novel 200. So I'm going to hit my share screen button.
Awesome. About what time, when will this be available for people to purchase?
Okay, so 200 is going to be available for purchase in February of 2021.
Cool.
Right around Valentine's Day.
Perfect.
Of course.
That's not too far away.
It really
That's
is,
true.
yeah.
That's true.
No, that feels 50 million thousand years away. What are you talking about? There's no tomorrow. It might as well be the Stone Age, the new Stone Age that we are inevitably heading to. So learn to smash a rock. Learn how to carve with a rock. It'll be fine. Carve with rocks.
It'll be okay.
As long as you're rock friendly, rock competent, Right. So I'm gonna start sharing my screen now.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I wanted to give you all a heads up, just in case I say something. Oh, I'm just showing that. This is not 200. I did not do this artwork. A really confident artist who is not me did this. This is just from the Nerdist's announcement of Victor Nora. I was just saying how look at these people be biting off my style. I see you, DC.
She just needs the flower.
Yeah, exactly. I just happen to have the flower. Oh, okay. So it was illustrated by, who is the person who did? Isaac Goodhart. See, this dude knows what's up. All right, I'm gonna kill.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Strangely enough, Nora, Victor Freeze's wife, looks Latina.
She looks so Latina. That's why I was like, what?
She could be your doppelganger, is what we're saying.
She really could be. If my hair had gone back to brown, like right now my hair is like half grown out. Like you can see, my hair is kind of like a chocolate brown naturally.
Mm-hmm.
So I look like an inverted tree most of the time. If my hair had been completely brown, yeah, I'd look like that girl Nora Freeze. And like, it's just really wild seeing yourself portrayed as like this beauty object when, for a long time you were just not even there. That kind of segues into 200. And you might notice that the main character might look a little familiar. Might notice these things, but it's mainly because of what Jen wanted, because Jen had a particular vision for this character, Ava, and she needed a particular salty personality to kind of go into it and like kind of flesh it out a bit. So Jen wrote a short story that got her really well received in sci-fi circles and stuff. It did really well for her, and it got us this publishing deal for this graphic novel 200. So 200 is the story of what if we could live forever, but you start getting crazy and stupid at 200. Now, I think every last one of us can relate to what it's like to have the bus being driven by crazy old people. Oh no. It's hard. So this society has defeated all death and disease, but at the age of 200, your mind starts to go. So I'm pulling up the cover here. Usually they're more, the publisher is more like formal about cover releases. I'm like, it's a freaking pandemic. Just show people the cover. So people like the cover. This is what I put
It's beautiful.
together.
I love it.
Yes, thank you. So, you get in that Latina flavor because Ava's very extra in what she does, she's showing the titties because that's how we roll. We just show titties. Her hair is really big and wild and crazy. She has a substance abuse problem. She's just dealing with a lot. this is her apocalypse. This book almost could have been 2020.
Right?
Yeah.
But alas, we are left with just the 200. So the plot line goes that Ava has just recently witnessed her husband get taken away by these they're called escorts. So the escorts come along when you turn 200. They come along and they scoop you up to take you to what is called the cat test. No, cat. Sorry. So the cat takes place in these groovy little twin tower doodads back here. And all of the centurials who have lived up to 200 get taken there and processed. And you have to take a test. And basically the test determines whether or not you're fit to go on to live into immortality or whether or not you have to be euthanized by the government. So Ava is really, really under a lot of pressure to not die. And she wants to see her husband again because obviously, her husband was the love of her life. She was like, oh my God, I want to love you so much.
And forever.
Yeah, forever and ever, baby. Yeah, Latinas, we just love too hard. Sometimes I wish we loved less. I've gotten really good at loving less, where I'm like, you're reasonably acceptable. You'll do. Ask for the words you'll do, and your life will change. So anyway.
So Jules, who is publishing this book?
It's Turner Publishing.
Okay.
And like I said, it comes out February of 2021. It'll also be available for purchase on Amazon.
Wow.
They have all their things linked up with that. Let me see if I have other little art doodads from the book. I sure do. So here's Ava getting taken to her test by these mean old guards. She brings out this note that was the last thing that her husband ever gave her. She's very sad, is tear stained, and the mean guy's like, "Forget you, lady. Now you're going into the future." She said, "No!" And then the pink, the list goes flying away. It's so sad. And I covered the entire book in shoujo flowers. Do you want an adult graphic novel covered in shoujo flowers? Yes,
Yes, I do. Yes. The answer to that question
I think this book is
yes.
going to slap if if they get the word out. My problem is that the previous book that I published with this publisher, Spectre Deep 6, not a lot of people heard about this one. So I'm hoping 200 gets a bit more of a push. From the overall atmosphere community. I mean, I feel like with Corona we had a bit of a leg up because Spectre came out when coronavirus had kneecapped the big five.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
With Diamond.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if they've really worked out a thing around Diamond. I think they've started to realize, like, maybe we should get big boy distributors now. Oh, no. Maybe all the things that all the people were saying to us were actually true. I wanted to share with you this other, I just wanted some pieces of artwork that I'm sharing from the book. Obviously, these are not lettered pages, so you can't see what the plot is. Edit it. So, yeah, here we go. We've got this lovely scene of Ava making her escape from some stuff. She makes a really daring escape, and she's flying away on this crazy hang glider. Basically, I got to be my own Clamp for this book. And if you don't know what Clamp is, you don't read shoujo mangas. Sit down and shut up, Junior. Anyway,
Clamp is a classic.
Clamp is like classic shoujo manga.
Can I ask, Jules? Yes. When you draw these panels, are you drawing them on a tablet, or are these actually like real pages, like ink to paper type of deal?
Oh, hell no. I don't have time for that crap. It's literally faster for me to just whip everything out on my now very kind of broken and janky looking surface. It had a water accident this summer. It's hanging in there, little guy. Hang in there, little buddy.
Gets the job done.
It's hurting. It's been through the wars. So anyway, yeah, I jam everything out on my Surface tablet. That is just taking advantage of the fact that Clip Studio Paint has a perspective tool, And as long as you know how to make the perspective tool work for you, you can make some really cool effects. Like
this whole city looks amazing. The buildings, the horizon, the degrading horizon. I think it's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of make it feel like it's on a bit on a hill, so you get to see all the little buildings in the background. But I mean, I'm a big city girl. I was born in the Bronx, so I know what a city is supposed to feel like when you look at it. And so I wanted to kind of capture this kind of big city vibe where in this particular city, all the rooftops are covered in vegetation and plants, because in this kind of wacky futuristic world, plants have kind of become the major focus, and not like space travel or anything, right? Like whenever we see other visions of the future, we're mostly seeing stuff that's like space travel, weapons, gizmos, tech, doodads, but this is less doodad oriented and more kind of like nature science motif oriented. It's a little bit like what Ava DuVernay did with A Wrinkle in Time. It's just, this is a graphic novel, and it just has loads of shoujo feel to it. It's basically, this is what happens when shoujo girls grow up, the graphic novel.
It's a very interesting point that you bring up, where in this future you focus on actually learning to garden and maybe grow your own crops, which is something that people haven't really touched upon in movies or in other stories. But as I do a little bit of gardening myself, and I noticed that it's hard. First of all,
it can be a bitch. You have to stay on top of the plants and stay on top of conditions that may harm. Oh fuck! I just realized my Christmas cactus is up against some shit. See, like this, I get it. I know the struggle for real.
Yes. Not only that, I mean, just growing something from a seed, it takes real talent and patience. I mean, Johnny, I gotta tell you, Disney's Johnny Appleseed ruined me for life, because he just put seeds on the ground, and supposedly there were crops and crops of trees, apple trees. But no, that is not the case at all. You really,
that's not how that goes.
Johnny Appleseed is a reckless nature daddy. That's what he is. That's paying child support. He taking care of any of those damn apple trees. You can't just go spreading your seed around. This is a civilized society, sir.
No, but it's so true. Like, it's just so hard to grow something from a seed.
I kill succulents like nobody's business. And those are the things that are supposed to survive anything. And I kill them left and right. I do not kill them.
This year I discovered I was a plant witch, and maybe not discovered so much as realized it, because it's not like my planter is new. Here, let me see if I can get you to see my planter. Look at that shit over there.
Oh wow!
Whole ass planter, yeah, girl. I've had a planter like that living in Los Angeles for I've been living in this apartment for I want to say 3 years and some change. So I said that's basically the planter decks themselves. They're basically an IKEA shoe platform that I just installed upside down. That way you have these little trays so that your pots don't slide off. I'm kind of poison ivy. Nobody knows that. But I don't know. I just got into plants, after my old big divorce debacle, cray. A lot of people I had a new apartment, and I was living by myself, and a lot of people wanted to help me, make my apartment feel nice. And I had this back deck because I lived by the beach. It was the beach in Melbourne, Florida. Nothing glamorous. I saw at least 2 of my neighbors piss in public. So anyway, by the beach, my mom and my family wanted to make me feel like, okay, let's have a nicer life. They just want to kind of improve my quality of life. So they gave me plants. And a lot of the plants that I have from that time in Florida made it over here to California.
Wow.
Wow.
And that's another thing I started doing in Love Jules. I started making comics about my plants. I'm going to pull up something for you real quick. Just to, look at plant comics. All right. Love Jules.
Like, one of the plants that I feel really confident with is aloe. because in partial shade, it'll do well. And you almost really don't have to put water in it until you remember, and it still survives and it still comes back.
Well, thank goodness, because that's about how I'm doing the one that you gave me.
Remember how to raise your own apocalypse aloe vera.
Look at that! Oh my God! See?
So I've been making comics about gardening for Love Jules, because I mean, I kind of realized with the pandemic, there was a shift in the demand and the mood of the kind of media that people really wanted. I mean, nobody wanted the big high stakes, you know, Avengers Endgame crazy stuff where the world is exploding. Nobody wants to hear about the world exploding when the world is actually exploding. No. Hard pass. Do not want. So this is a slightly out of perspective picture, but whatever. It just gets the point across, all right? It's not drawn to scale. So anyway, I started drawing comics about my plants because people want low stakes entertainment. You want to see programs about people where their worst problem is, no, my plant got sun scorched. Oh, like that's the kind of scale you can handle right now. Everything outside is super crazy, but chilling here in your house, you know, building your own apocalypse garden. And I made a comic about that too, called Apocalypse Garden. This is a Love Jules sketch. Sorry, an apocalypse garden.
Is that not a guayaba tree? ¿Cómo se llama? The tree behind her is that a ¿cómo se llama? God, I can't think of it. It's a plant I don't even like to eat.
I don't think you're supposed to eat this plant. This is a thing that is, in English, I looked it up, and is known as the chocolate velvet elephant ear plant, or the chocolate velvet plant. I don't think it's edible. But it's just a neat little plant that I got in a friend breakup. It's like a peace offering, like, here you go. I hate you, don't talk to me again, but here's the plant. So, life is weird that way. So I have, that chocolate velvet elephant ear plant is, you know, it's just a really fun little addition. I just posted it to Twitter and I was like, look at my plant. Like, just, we all need to talk about something that isn't hellish and terrifying. So, I would just post to Twitter pictures of my plants, and people saw this wacky guy plant, and people would see pictures of that plant and go, you should add a Lorax to it. And I drew on cardstock a little Lorax. And there's a little paper Lorax that lives in that plant right now.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah. So, in a way, the pandemic has allowed me to get in touch with my feminine side, but not really. I mean, this is what weaponized femininity looks like. It's very cute. It's very beguiling. It's going to suck you right in. You don't have a choice. Shut up. Take your medicine. Work on your damn garden. Good for you.
No,
because I love you.
I started planning as well, because I used to have like an active garden, and we had one, but it had just gone overgrown. But during the pandemic, I was just so like, I should start planting stuff again and growing stuff again. And it was just so satisfying. I forgot, like, because I had been going to college, and then I just didn't have time for my garden because I was so studying. So I just let it, like, a bunch of the plants died and some of the other ones got overgrown. But then finally, because of the pandemic, I looked at my garden and I was just like, hey, I can fix this. And I did, and I love it. Right now I have a very stubborn basil plant that
basils are a bitch. Is it a sweet basil or a cinnamon basil?
I'm sorry, which one?
Is it a sweet basil or a cinnamon basil?
It's a sweet basil.
Oh, those things are such a pain in the ass.
They are. They really are. And I thought it was going to die on me at first, but then but then it was just
dramatic.
They're so dramatic. I forget to water it one day, and then all the leaves are wilted, and it's just like, I'm dying, I'm dead, please. And then I just give it.
Want it anymore.
Yeah. And then I give it water, and then it's just like, oh, I'm okay.
Dude, I killed 3 basil plants. I just don't know what to do. So
Yeah,
I
like
so
you give
so I
it too
cut
much water, and then you don't give it too much water. You
exactly.
give it too much water, and then it gets fucking root rot on you, and it's like,
Yes.
God balls, ah!
Yes, I know. My
So,
husband's
yeah.
like, "How many basils are you gonna kill?" And I'm like, "But I like basil. I put it in my eggs. I put it in stuff. Like I want a basil plant, you
A
know."
cinnamon basil would work out better,
Okay.
but when you plant it, make sure that you cut the dirt with sand. If you get
Okay.
get some sand, you just cut it with some sand, because
Okay.
what you want is sand that drains well,
Okay,
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's a dry deserty plant. So cinnamon
Yeah.
basil has a little tiny twinge of a licorice taste to it. I like it a lot. So if you want a basil plant that's not such a fussy bitch, then yes, you want a basil that is like, try cinnamon basil. I swear, it's good stuff.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
gonna so do that definitely.
No, I started
Yeah.
growing basil to act as an attraction for bugs.
Oh
they would-
wow!
So yeah,
Oh.
because that's what also basil's good for. You can use it you can use it for food, but it attracts all the other bugs so that your other plants don't get infected
The
by
helpful
like
ones. Yeah.
like the helpful ones. Because I
Interesting.
also grew some chili plants because we eat a lot of chile, and I noticed that there was the flies were getting on them, and they were growing black spots and stuff like that. So
Ah, balls.
I planted some basil to attract the flies and all the other stuff, and it worked. But it was just a matter of trying to keep the stupid basil alive to act as bait.
Keep that bitch
But-
watered. Yeah, that's the hard part.
But then I figured it out.
With
And it's
basil,
flourishing.
you want to go the opposite direction, since she's so fussy with the freaking water. Then yeah, you would probably want to get more of like a peaty kind of soil that holds on to water a little better, because otherwise she gets dehydrated and throws a fit.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I would go the opposite directions. I've seen what happens with desert plants if you water them in soil that is not really made for desert plants. It's not sandy enough, like it doesn't drain fast enough, and they get very sad.
They get very
Yeah, they sometimes they start to rot.
So much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I could show you. I have an upcoming Mark Trail talking about what kind of plants to plant depending on how much you want to water them. Like I made a little chart and everything. That's another thing. Doing the Mark Trail nature strips. I've been doing a lot of like educational stuff and science diagrams. I'm such a psycho about science diagrams. Yeah, this spreads some knowledge with little arrows. Woo! So,
as an engineer, I'm sure you have a lot of like graphs and charts, and it's gonna be great. I think it's gonna. I mean, I already love Mark Trail, so I mean, I can't wait to see what else you do.
Yeah, like Mark Trail, I think has been very well received. I can't, like, the people who have a problem with it are the people who are having a hard time adjusting to change in general, and that's a them problem. That's not a me problem. Okay, I'm doing the best I can, trying to put together a story that is both long form but short servings. That's the challenge of writing a 4-panel strip. You got to get every little story stroke in 4 little bitty panels. Sometimes I go down to 3 panels. One stroke of story, and you're telling stories basically one sliver slices.
Yeah.
Kind of like a 3D printer does it one layer at a time, like bloop, bloop, bloop. Every strip has to move the story along, or every strip has to say something about the characters or something. It's not because Mark Trail is a drama strip, it's supposed to be dialogue driven and story driven. You gotta have stuff happening. If you do not have stuff happening, you're wasting everyone's time, which I guess is the point of Sunday Comics, but it's not how I roll. Like, but like I feel like if I'm telling a story with Mark Trail, I'm going to use this platform to the greatest ability that it can be used. So that means I'm not wasting nobody's time with. Let's have a story.
Can I ask? I know that you got a lot of like backlash on being the, artist and writer of Mark Trail, and then shortly after the backlash, you did a comic strip on Mark Trail about him pursuing a different type of magazine. What is it called? Job that was offered to him, where he's actually exploring maybe more of a self-caring kind of aspect?
No,
Was
no,
that
I didn't. I basically gave him literally the exact same job he would have gotten in the olden days, but I happened to disguise it under Teen Girl Sparkle to make everybody lose their marbles.
Yeah.
and actually that was my initial question, was like, did you do that intentionally as a response from the backlash?
Not really a response, no, because these strips are made well in advance. I mean, I'm doing strips that aren't going to air until like, or I guess run or print or whatever. I'm doing strips that aren't going to run or print until like the end of like already December. I'm already doing strips into January. So no, this is not a reaction. It's very unlikely you would see a reaction. So that script was written well ahead of time, but it was written well ahead of time with the knowledge that, yeah, readers are going to have some thoughts about that. Yeah, it also comes from a real place, because the kind of magazine that is doing that kind of investigative journalism, that kind of like radical activism, like, yeah, fight the man, that's happening with Teen Vogue. And that's what we've been, and that's the whole point of updating Mark Trail, is just to bring it up to speed. Yeah. But I just kind of ensconced it in that, kind of teen girl sparkle vibe, to both update it, but also make the boomers all shaken up. Like, no!
How dare
a couple of panels of him, a couple of panels of Mark looking like a K-pop boy, and in the background of the computer, one of his articles is a listicle. It says 5 reasons why cookies are better than boys. And that was a line that I totally got from my friend Felicia Miller. She's the girl from Hi Felicia on Twitter, if you've seen her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I got that line from her. Anyway, Mark is, he's challenged in a way we haven't seen him challenged before. And I think that's a good thing, but I think other people are looking at that and going, no, I don't want it. This disrupts my bowel movement. And I'm like, okay, I'm sorry for your butt, but maybe eat more fiber. That'll move your life. And that is not a new thing. Take responsibility for your own butthole. And, and God bless. I mean, I'm trying to tell a story that's current and interesting and, kind of rocks people's socks off. Everybody expects me to tell the same stoic nature man story, but me, I'm kind of telling a little bit of an inversion of that. We're actually getting into Mark's head a lot more with, Mark Trail the way that I do it, because getting into Mark's head is where the stakes are starting to get raised. It's not enough that he's punching a guy out who's like a smuggler or something like that. And let's be real, a lot of the older drawings of Mark Trail villains were dubious, very dubious, I would say. I would look at that and go, that would definitely get a disclaimer in a Disney cartoon these days. Kind of racist is what I'm saying. So, and hilariously, like, a lot of these racist depictions were dudes who look like my dad. So I'm like, how do you know my dad? I mean, am I the revenge of all of those guys? Like, I'm the daughter of all those guys come back from revenge? I don't know. Mark Trail's getting metaphysical in my life. Anyway, you would see these guys, looking kind of swarthy and dangerous and then when I did Mark Trail, to update it, I decided to give him stubble because I based him on John Hamm, who was a man made of stubble. I feel like he was the most obvious choice in the world. I don't know why people are acting so surprised that I decided to use him as kind of like a more updated model, because that's Daddy. We all see him. We know him. That's Daddy. He shows up. You're like, okay, Daddy, what's up? But like, he's like kind of become this icon that people can read and go, oh, okay, that's the kind of vibe I'm getting here. That kind of classic American dude vibe. And and that's what I wanted to invoke. I'm just updating a thing with very logical decisions. It seems to, I feel like they're logical, but everybody else is like, they're freaking out. I gave Mark stubble. People been wigging about that. I untucked his shirt. People be wigging about that. Untucked shirts apparently have a visual association with communist dictators. I didn't know this until I read you. This is how crazy it is. I didn't know this until I researched this, because I was asking on Twitter. I was like, why is everyone so flipping out because he's wearing an untucked shirt? Because I have been, I mean, okay, I'm functionally heterosexual. I mean, I would with a girl, but otherwise I'm functionally heterosexual. I seek out dudes for the most part. Because I can predict dude emotions better than girl emotions. So anyway,
it's the opposite of me.
Oh yes, yeah. I mean, it's just the way I'm wired. I can understand guys. So, where was I going? What was I saying?
The untucked shirts.
Communist shirts.
Untucked shirt. Fucking untucked shirts. So, you know, I didn't know. I started asking on Twitter. I'm like, what the hell is this? People are like, it's communism, and I'm like, what?
Excuse me?
No, shut up. It's not anything that petty and stupid. Yes, it is. Oh, yes, girl, it is. Communism is the reason why, or communist imagery is why white people get so triggered by the sight of a man with an untucked shirt.
Wow.
I know, it goes deep down. And it's even wilder when you think, wait a minute, communism is only sold as a bad thing to white people because they wanted to stamp out people of color with power. And I'm like, that's great until you have a pandemic.
Yep.
It's all fun and games until somebody coughs the corona all over an entire super spreader event. Wow. It was not on my bingo card that the powers that be would be holding rallies that are just straight super spreader events. I'm like,
yep.
Yep.
Wow. And you wonder why we got to change leadership on some things.
Yeah.
And you wonder why we need some fresh ideas. I mean, I hate to say it, but I was just talking this over with a friend of mine. Like, older politicians, they live too long. They need to die faster.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, it's true. Or retire or get the fuck out of there. But like, you need younger people who are more connected with you know, the actual world at large and not connected to a world that's long since gone away.
Yep.
I mean, quite honestly, I'm in my 40s, and there are some things I cannot relate to. There are some words that I have no understanding what the meaning of them of the words are. So if I'm having trouble in my 40s, in your 60s, in your 80s, come on.
Especially if you don't work to try and understand.
Right.
Exactly.
I because I'm a person shilling media, I try to understand a lot of the markets that I work with.
Right.
And so I try to keep abreast of what's going on, you know, with teenagers. Like, how are they talking to each other? What are they doing? It's really easy because I have an 18-year-old niece. That's not hard at all. But you know, I try to keep abreast with, you know, the mood of what the kids are listening to. Because that is your target market, because these are the people who are consuming your products, and you want the stories that you create to resonate with the audiences that shit is getting sold to.
Right.
So that's why I always have to work hard to keep understanding younger people and understanding what kind of a culture it is. Yeah. Because fun fact, in astrology, there is something known as, I believe it's your Scorpio. Not your Scorpio, your Pluto, either your Pluto or your Saturn. Either way, this is something that defines a whole generation. This one sign that is in your Pluto is in, that, you know, just everybody around you feeling the same way. Like basic, I'm a really old millennial, so I understand the salt of Gen X, but I'm not gonna sit here and take it. Like a millennial. Like a millennial's like, this is bullshit. Taking to social media, I'm tweeting about this shit. Customer service is gonna be all over you. Like, you know, I'm that interesting cross section of two things of rampant rebellion, and I'm actually gonna get mad and do something about this. So, you know, but that's a vibe of my generation. Just the other day, I caught myself listening to a whole bunch of Nirvana on like YouTube. I'm just like loading up Nirvana songs. And I think about it, and I'm like, the music today doesn't sound anything at all like this. Music today sounds really kind of moody and chill. Like, Vibe.
Yeah.
It's a little bit elevator music adjacent, and that's because that this generation is just a different mood. They are just a different Pluto in whatever. All right. I don't know enough about astrology to say exactly which sides are which, but a whole generation can have a vibe, is what I'm saying.
Right.
So
yeah,
I came from a crunchy, crispy, angry vibe, but I also try to keep in mind that because there are people who have different vibes, you got to tailor your work. Hence, love Jules getting a lot more plant content. Because, you know, that easy breezy, chill, mellow vibe goes great with plants. It works out.
Mm-hmm.
That's absolutely true.
But as a media creator, it's important to understand who your audience is, no matter what their age is.
Well, Jules, we have a segment on our podcast called Juntos y Fuertes, and that segment highlights noteworthy endeavors by members of marginalized groups that we think deserve support. So we like to ask our interviewee guests, are there any projects or programs that you'd like to highlight and for our listeners?
Let's see, projects and programs that I'd like to highlight. Well, my friend Felicia is always doing these really great reviews. I would really encourage you guys to look into the works of Blurred Galaxy magazine.
Oh,
It's basically a lot of the Wink women over in the Women in Comics International in New York. They kind of put together their online magazine of Blurred Galaxy. So if you are a fan of blurred culture and you like sci-fi, like I would totally encourage you to look at that. Let's see what else. I don't think I guess, yeah, you could always see my buddy Chuck Collins. He's always putting out really good books. Not books. Well, no, that's not true at all. He was putting out books. He's putting out comics called Bounce, where he details his life as a bouncer in New York.
Wow.
Oh, it is a full scale crazy. All right.
Yeah. I will. Oh my God. That's so interesting. I want to read that.
Oh, it is wild AF. I highly encourage you to check out Bounce the comic.
I mean, for me, when they say, where would you like to go back in time? Like if you could time travel. And one of the things I think about is like, I want to go to Studio 54, but would the bouncers let me in is the question. They hold a lot of power.
They really do.
And a lot of drama comes right before you get into the club.
Yeah.
In the case of Chuck, he mostly has to deal with drunk white kids trying to get into the bar without ID.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of the belligerent things that come out of their mouths whenever they are met with actual authority and actually someone telling them no.
Right.
So naturally, they don't handle it well. Surprise. He's kind of been on hiatus for a minute, and that's totally okay. I've been like, I would love to take a hiatus. I love you. Oh my God. So
where can we find his work, Bounce?
I believe it's www.bouncethecomic.com. Let me just check that. I don't know if I'm.
I mean, I could just imagine a bunch of kids saying, "Don't you know who my parents are? Don't you know who I am?"
Oh, my stars! Basically, the entire like that. That's a really good chunk of the strip. Don't you know who I am? People throwing a fit and acting clown and foolish. Here you go. I'm gonna put the link in there. Bouncethecomic.com. I love Chuck's work. He's pretty great.
Yeah, Chuck
who else do I want to throw out there as a marginalized creator? I'm not that prepared for this question. Oops, I did not think very hard, but I feel like I got a few really great examples.
Those two are great.
Yeah, so definitely check out, and any of the people in the Women of Comics International. They've always got really, really great talent there. Check out the artwork of Sheba Maya. She does this really trippy, like Afrofuturism artwork that I got one. House actually, no, wait, maybe I think you could see it over my. Oh yeah, actually, that's the one. She does this one right here. I don't know if you could see.
Nice.
Well, I'm going to see if I can pull it a little bit closer. You cannot see it all that great, but it is definitely this. Yeah, there we go. This guy right here on the very end.
Awesome.
Yeah, I gotta get a webcam that I can pick up and grab and move around, so I can go here. Look, let me show you. But yeah, there's a lot of really great talent out there. You don't have to work that hard to find it. And yeah, I always come up with new suggestions. So yeah, feel free to just ping me on social media. Just be like, Jules, you know things. I'm like, of course I know.
So that brings us to my next question. Where can listeners follow your projects and future projects? What's your website and on what social medias do you frequent and post on?
Alrighty. That's a great question. That's a pretty good springboard from where we just came from. I'm on my website is www.julesrivera.com. Let me see if I think I might have a little doodad here about that. Let's see. Maybe not. I might have thrown it out. I might be stupid. But anyway, oh no, I'm not stupid. Okay, here we go. So,
nice.
So on Twitter, I'm at Jules Rivera. I even color coded it. And on Instagram, I'm love.jules. And my website is www.julesrivera.com. If you want to find me on TikTok, I don't update as often as I would like, just because I'm so swamped with work. But if you can find my TikTok, I'm Love Jules on TikTok. And yeah, sometimes I'll throw out little funny movies and stuff on that for funsies.
Nice.
Also, guys, I just discovered Webtoons.
Oh yeah, I'm on Webtoons as well. Love Jules is on Webtoons.
Yes, and you could read over 200 comic strips.
Where does the time even go? I just started the dumb little project like 3 minutes ago. Next thing I know, I've got 200 scripts under my belt. I'm like,
it's amazing. I love it so much. It's so good. I really hope you guys out there that are watching this, that are listening to this, go to Webtoons, just start reading it, and you won't be able to stop. Honestly,
exactly.
I promise you will not be able to stop.
Comes in a very handy to read, scrolly fashion, just 4 panels. If you can read like a 4-coma comic strip, it doesn't require any commitment. It's not like any of the stories are continuous. Most of the time when I want to talk about some, real ass shit, I'm in and out. I'm like, there's the thing, you talk about it and then you get out. Because I don't want to linger. I don't want to look like I'm grinding an axe. I'm like, okay, I'm done with talking about the thing. So, 4 little panels. It's easy peasy. You could just at the end hit the little arrow doodad. Bloop, new comic. Crazy. That's why the Webtoons really brought back comic strips. Yeah, they did.
Yes. Most definitely. 100%. Yes. Actually, I blame Jen because Jen introduced me to Webtoons and now I can't stop. I cannot stop. Sometimes when I'm on hold for work, I'm reading, and then when they answer the phone, I'm just like, oh, I just want to read this next panel, damn you.
But what I really love about Webtoons is that it took something like a comic and actually made it really look good on a phone so that you can read it and feel comfortable with it. Because it's hard to read a webcomic on a phone if it's in a regular page layout. You're reading that in squinty vision. You're like,
yes,
I think there's letters in there. That's a big ask for your readers.
Yeah.
So you put something into Webtoons that and especially the way I do Love Jules is I already have everything done in templates and I already have my actions saved in Photoshop. So when it comes time to put out a strip, I just go blip, blip, 2 buttons, 4 little easy panels come out that are all nice and evenly sliced up. And, I already got a system for how I update things and where, in different platforms.
Where can the listeners and the viewers in this case find Bark Trail?
Mark Trail can be found on the Comics Kingdom website. That's www.comicskingdom.com. And it's also distributed across the United States in 175 papers. So check your local areas, check your local listings.
Nice.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Jules. I mean, you brought so much information to this Las Platicas, so much so that we have 2 episodes of it.
Yes.
Yes, because the transformer blew out on my block.
That's how powerful I am.
Right.
That was so crazy. These flowers were so hot pink. They were like,
It's like they're singeing.
I
Like,
can't do it. And the transformer exploded. I'm so well, I am both sorry and you're welcome.
thank you. And I say thank you. Y gracias. So, guys, we are ending this episode. We have been your hosts. I'm Sarah.
I'm Kristen.
And I'm Jen.
Die. I'm Jules freaking Rivera.
And also, don't forget to like and subscribe.
And also don't forget to like and subscribe. That's a great idea. Do all of the things. Pandemics are hard.
Thanks, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe.
Leave a comment. Tell me all about how
Yeah.
shirts make you feel in your pain.
Yeah, tell us everything, guys.
All about the trauma you
Please.
have associated with fashion.
Tell us about your gardening tips. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gracias, guys.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.